A fruit tree in my garden that, for its very first years, gave me nothing but leaves. No blossom worth mentioning, no fruit at all. I used to walk past it and wonder what I was doing wrong. I know now I wasn't doing anything wrong. It wasn't just time yet. I'm Diresia, and as you can see, I'm still using my notes. And in the last video, I talked about the fears that come with old age, the care home, dementia, losing your sense of purpose, the worry that the money won't stretch far enough. Today, I want to turn the view and to a complete different direction towards nature. Why, for instance, does an old tree look dignified while old people often don't feel that way about themselves? Nature isn't offering us instructions. It's simply showing us how something grows, ripens, lets go, and transforms on its own terms. If you look at it with open eyes, I think you'll find your own path somewhere in there too. My own relationship with nature started in a small garden, but the moment that properly opened my eyes was much bigger than that. The Grand Canyon. Those colors, those shapes, a scale that makes you feel like a visitor in your own life. During the years I spent in America, I went through national park after national park, taken in by how different every tree, every rock formation, every valley could be from the last. That attentiveness followed me eventually home into my own small garden and that tree that gave me nothing but leaves. Since returning, I have kept a small vegetable garden and planted a few fruit trees and have watched them deliberately year after year. It's a different kind of nature to the Grand Canyon, of course. No scale, no spectacle, just the same patch of ground changing slowly enough you have to actually pay attention to notice it all. Much of what I see out there, I later find again in my own life. Strength pulling inward, a long wait for fruit that may or may not come. Here, by Lake Balaton, where I live, a kind of nature has revealed itself to me that I'd never really noticed before. Mulberry trees I must have walked past for years without seeing them properly. Elder hedges that turn into hedgerows wide in early summer, an emerald lizard that calls this place home, alongside a hoopoe and a family of kingfishers that have settled nearby. On walks with the dogs, I come across foxes, hares, and deer. The dogs, though, are a good deal less philosophical than I am about all this. To them, a fox or a hare is just something to chase about. Now, back to that tree. An old tree hardly grows any taller. What happens instead is that the trunk thickens, the rings multiply, the crown becomes more home to more creatures than a young tree could ever host, and the roots reach further down than they ever have. The growth simply changes direction. Outward becomes inward. I think the same is true of you and me. In your younger years, what grows is mostly visible from the outside. Education, career, family, responsibility. With the years, the direction shifts. It's less about reaching higher and more about growing deeper. Experience, composure, and understanding of people. These are your own tree rings. You can't see them at a glance, but they are what actually holds life steady. I like the idea of growing deeper instead of taller. It sounds peaceful, almost inevitable. But some days I still catch myself measuring my own worth the old way, wanting some visible proof that the year mattered, the way a younger tree wants to be taller by spring. I suspect you know that pull too, to have something to show. I don't think that itch fully goes away. I think you just get a little better at not obeying it. Our culture loves spring. Everything sprouts, everything begins, and we build entire industries around staying young. But no plant tries to remain in spring forever. Autumn has its own beauty, even if we celebrate it far less than spring or summer. The leaves change color, the fruit ripens, seeds begin to form, and the tree draws its strings inward, not giving up, but turning towards what actually matters to it now. It doesn't die, it simply transforms. The same can be true of you. Old age doesn't mean a life is shrinking. It changes direction. Outward strength recedes slowly so that something else, calm, composure, the ability to recognize what truly counts, has room to grow in its place. And fruit never appears at the start of growth. It comes right at the end, after the blossom, after long weeks where almost nothing seems to be happening from outside, which is exactly the stretch I spent frustrated with that tree in my garden, waiting for the sign it was doing anything at all. And yet it's precisely that fruit which carries the seed for whatever comes next. We tend to talk about the last years of our life as though the important part is already behind us. Nature disagrees. Out there, fruit isn't what it's left over once growth is done. It's the result of it. A human life, too, often only bears its fruit after many years. Walk through an old forest and you can feel it almost immediately. A stillness, a kind of settled calm that a young forest simply doesn't have yet. Old trees give the whole forest its stability. They break the wind, hold the soil, create a climate that benefits everything living around them, usually without anyone noticing. That's closer to the role older people actually play, giving the busy world around them a steadiness that can't be seen but can absolutely be felt. Even the light changes with the hour. Morning light has a certain freshness. Midday light is sharp. Evening light softens everything, not by hiding what it's there, but by showing the same things differently. Warmer, often more beautiful than they looked at noon. Nature doesn't know anything about anti-aging. It only knows transformation. So, that tree in my garden, it's older now and it does bear fruit and doesn't grow as much anymore. That's what I'm hoping for myself too. Not keep climbing, but to ripen where I am. If you're wondering where these thoughts come from, this is the third part of a small trilogy. You'll find the other two here on that channel, one on what old age can teach us, the other on the fears that tend to come with it. What's something in your own life, a plant, a habit, a person that taught you the difference between growing and ripening? I'd love to hear it in the comments. Thank you for watching.